Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making today is boiled raisin cake. This is a delicious traditional Newfoundland boiled raisin cake and made by many families over the years. Just recently spoke to my mom and her sister, Aunt Clara from Belle Island, and she makes it quite often. Apparently that's a big deal in her family as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you the few ingredients that's in it. It's a boiled raisin cake, so therefore the raisins is going to be boiled. We'll touch on that, we'll touch on the ingredients, and we'll show you how to make yours if you want to join in. There's not a lot of ingredients in this delicious boiled raisin cake, but you will need raisins, and you'll need a box of raisins, and you could have any type, a cup of butter or margarine, a teaspoonful of baking soda, a teaspoonful of cloves, half a teaspoonful to a teaspoonful of salt, teaspoonful of cinnamon, and a teaspoonful of baking powder. 1.5 cups of white sugar, 4 cups of white flour or flour of choice, and 3 cups of cold water. And then we can get started. Okay, you don't have to be particular when it comes to the amount of raisins. It's your cake, so it doesn't matter. But this is 250 grams. It's probably 2 cups. So I'm going to pour this on into my dipper. You're going to need this on a low heat, starting it on a medium first just to get it going. You're going to need to add in your butter all at one time and your sugar. We're going to be putting in there as well a teaspoonful of cinnamon and a teaspoonful of the cloves. So you just toss it on in there, and then what we're going to do is let this start to melt down, and then I'll start stirring it. So pretty much what I'm doing here now is just gradually letting the butter melt down. Once it's melted down, you want to turn it to a low simmer for about 10 minutes. You can go 10 to 15 minutes, but you'll see that the raisins is starting to blow right up and get pretty fat. And then keep stirring around gradually, never leaving it alone to be too long still. And then what we can do then is then take it off the damper once that's done, and then I'll show you what's next. But I'll give you a close-up to see what it looks like. Okay, so this is what it'll start to look like once it starts to melt down. You'll see the butter just gradually melting. We don't want this to boil to the point where it's going to make your sugar burn or your raisins, because you need this liquid, which is the oil from the butter and the sugar that's melted. And then as it starts to simmer there now for about 10 minutes to 15 minutes, you can go a little less, and you'll see that it'll be perfect. And then I'll show you what the next step is. So as you can see, it's starting to simmer there nice, and the raisins is starting to get almost double in size. So what I'm going to do now is take this off the heat, and I'm going to show you what's next. Okay, so I'm going to take mine off the stove. So if you're baking along with me today, because there's only a few simple ingredients, and of course you can pause the show and then go get that. If you are, yours should be ready to go as well. If not, enjoy this video, and then after, with a few simple steps, you will have an amazing boiled raisin cake. So what I'm going to do now is get my water and the baking soda, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. Okay, so now we got this delicious mixture ready. It smells amazing, just like it is. We're going to be using a teaspoonful of baking soda and put it into 3 cups of cold water. So you're just going to pour that on in there, stir it around until it's all condensed in there, all mixed through. And then we're going to take the cold water and we're going to bring it over and pour it all into this mixture, because what it does, it cools this down now and gets this ready for us to sift in our flour, our baking powder, and our salt. So we're just going to pour it on in like this, the full 3 cups with the baking soda. And just stir it all into the pan. Okay, this is coming along really nice now. So what I'm going to do, we're going to take the mixture now with the sugar, the raisins, the water we put in there, the butter, and the baking soda. We're going to take this now with the cinnamon and the cloves and pour it all into the mixing bowl. Just pour it on into the bowl with the raisins. And that's all you need to do there. Okay, we're going to sift in the 4 cups of flour, the teaspoonful or less of salt, and the teaspoonful of baking powder. You're going to sift it on in on top of all of that liquid. And I know some of you saying, no, like that's an awful lot of liquid. But trust me, you're going to see that this is going to make a really nice batter. And this cake turns out perfect. After you've done that, you're going to start mixing it through. So all of that will start combining, and then you'll see that the baking powder and the baking soda will start to work that mixture. So mix it on in through. Okay, so you just keep whisking this around until you see it all blending together nice. And then after, you can put this in whatever pan you like. If you want to put it in 2 separate pans, if you wanted to make loaves, if you want to put it in 2 or 3 different loaf pans, or you could put it in a bunt pan. That's what I'm going to do. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so after you finish with that, that's ready to go. You're going to, I'm using a nice bunt pan, but like you said, you can use whatever you got available, because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's all going to come out really nice. You want to oil your pan really good so it'll just pop out afterwards. You could use butter or oil or just a spray. That's fine. So it's going to look like this. And now what we're going to do is convert our batter over into our pan. So pretty much what you're going to do now is start pouring your batter into the pan. Might have to get Raymond to help spin the pan. This bowl is
okay.
Pretty.
One sec. Excuse my hands. Here we go.
There you go. It's perfect. Alrighty then, that's good. So you just pour it on in. It's just when the pan was so heavy. Like this. It's a little bit more from mine in here, so I can make a little loaf out of the other part. But this is about all you would need if you got a bunt pan about this size. This is perfect. So that's pretty much all you got to do to make this delicious boiled raisin cake. So now what we will do is preheat our oven to 300 degrees and put it in there for 1.5 hours, depending on your oven. It could be less. And well, certainly it could be more if you got a bigger pan and not one that got a hole in the middle. So that I'm gonna let you decide. This is slow baked, and that's what makes it so perfect. So what I'm going to do is put mine now in the oven, and I'm going to show you what the one that I got is already baked like. Okay, so this is what my delicious boiled raisin cake looks like. Now, if you make one with a bunt pan as well, you can fill this in with fruit, deck off the top with some whatever you would like. I got some cinnamon here and brown sugar you can put over it, or just leave it like it is. But what we're going to do today to show you, I'm going to cut out a nice piece. I got some thick cream that we use here in Newfoundland to put over our slice, but you could use a whipped cream or ice cream. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so now I'm going to cut off a nice piece and show you. Now this one was done a couple of hours ago. This is what it looks like on the inside, and it's cooled down, but you can serve this hot as well. You don't have to have it cool. I'm going to put this piece here, then I'm going to top it with some cream and some more cinnamon and brown sugar and show you what that looks like. Okay, so I'm using a thick cream, like I was saying. You take it and you shake it, and then it goes thick inside. If you don't have access to this, you could use a whipped cream or ice cream, that's fine. So I'm going to put a nice dollop over the top of my boiled raisin cake. And then I'm going to sprinkle it a little tiny bit, like I was saying, with the cinnamon and brown sugar, just that little taste of spice on top of it. Now what I'm going to do is have a taste and tell you what it tastes like. So I'm going to take a nice little taste here. So I got a little bit of the raisins in it and the cake part and some of the cream. So moist, and the taste of those boiled raisins, and you can taste even all of the cinnamon and the cloves in there. This is absolutely delicious. 2 thumbs up by Bonita's Kitchen. I'm just going to have a little taste of tea to wash down my delicious boiled raisin cake. So if you're baking along with me today and you've made yours, I'm sure you're delighted. You can cut it now and have a nice warm piece. Mine is room temperature, but no matter how you have it, it will be absolutely delicious. So if you enjoyed this recipe today and you wanted to see more traditional and non-traditional Newfoundland recipes and some viewers' requests, choices from mine, picks that I would pick out randomly in there, some of my recipes and some of other people's. If you'd like that, just go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, and then it would prompt you to what you need to do. Each time we post a new video, you will get a notification letting you know. You can also visit us on www.bonitaskitchen.com, my Facebook page, or send us a tweet on Twitter. So thank you for joining us once again today. From our kitchen to yours, you have a wonderful day. So thank you for...
What was that?
Oh my goodness.